Once upon a time in Egypt, there was a man named Goha. Goha lived in one of the worst times of Egypt. Egypt was filled with bad people, criminals, even thugs who used to walk in the street to take money from people. But Goha was never a bad person. But that does not mean that he was not a devious person. Goha was kind, was generous. He used to have $1 in his pocket and used to give out 75 piastres of them. And then he used to say, one day he was sitting at home with his wife. His wife was already complaining about how their life is dull and poor and they have nothing to do. Goha used to cry himself to sleep, but he did not want to tell anyone. One day he heard a knock on the door. Goha looked from the window and then he said, "Oh my!" It was his friends, and it was noon at that time. Goha was surprised. No one would visit anyone at noon, as it was known to be lunchtime. Goha then opened the door and then he's like, "Yes, my friends, what do you need?" And then they're like, "Goha, don't you remember? Didn't you didn't you invite us for lunch?" And then he told them, uh, oh, yes, yeah, yes, I remember, yes, I remember. He told them, even though Goha knew they were lying and they knew they were lying, they were giggling back there, and then he told them, "Please come in." Goha, as it was known at that time that whenever you came into someone's house, you take off your shoes. They took off their shoes and put them beside his door. They came in, and then Goha was like, "Please come into the living room." Goha went into his wife's room, and then he told her, "I did not invite them for lunch. What are they doing here?" And then his wife was like, "They're trying to take advantage of you, my husband." And then he told her, "But what shall I do?" She told him, "Do what you do best." And then he told her, "What do you mean?" And then he's like, "You're known to be the wise fool." And then he told her, yes, as Goha was an illiterate, but he was a genius. He went outside, he took a sniff of the air, and then he went inside and asked his friends, "What do you want to drink?" And then he brought in some cup of tea, and they all drank tea, and then he's like, "Please give me 15 minutes, I need to go somewhere quickly." And then they're like, "Okay, Goha." And then as he left the house, he took their shoes with them. Goha, as he felt guilty quickly, he looked from the window, he saw his friends, they were giggling and laughing, and then he knew that they were talking about him. So he had their shoes in his hand, and then he went outside, and then he sold them to in the merchants area. Then he came back with food with him. Then he fed his friends, and then they stayed up all night and they had the best time of their lives. Once they were leaving his house, they asked him, "Goha, where are our shoes?" He replied, Your shoes are in your stomach." Thank you. This was the story of Goha and the shoes. Thank you.